Hi everyone, this is Tracy from WeCraft at Home, and today I wanted to show you how you can make your own Dreamcatcher. I originally was going to do it for a canvas, but I think I prefer the idea of doing it for a card. Now I want to do a bit of stamping and stenciling as well, so I'm going to try and get through this as quickly as we can. I'll show you how to make the Dreamcatcher and the cloud, which we're going to use as a kind of stencil. More like a mask really. Yeah, so let's get started. I'm going to get all this over here, and I'm going to start with a couple of circles. So we'll start with the Dreamcatcher itself, and that starts with doing the weaving inside. So what we first want to do with this one is do an inward and leave it as it is. Around 24 I think is enough. You need a ring. Then you are going to grab both and subtract so that the middle is punched out. So now we only have a ring, nothing in the middle there, see? Okay, so once I've done that, I'm just going to bring it in so that it is shaped like that, because that is how you're going to make this. Now what we need here is the angle. So we're going to layer, duplicate, and then you're going to do the angle at 20 degrees. And we're going to do that a few times. Layer, duplicate. So add 20 each time. 40 degrees. You go up to 160 and you get a nice circle like that, and then we're going to weld, and then we need another ring. The same. You could have just duplicated it when you've done this one, but we'll do it this way. And what we're going to do is put it over, and then align it and weld again. So you can see where I'm going with this now. Now this circle is going to be 5 inches. And what we're going to do is put this one down to about 3.5, and we're going to punch it out of there. It's not going to divide, so what we have to do is take that circle. Now before we do it, let's just check. It's about 350. So we're going to bring the nodes up, you click once, wait, click again. Don't worry about all the tiny nodes in there. The only ones we don't want are these ones on the outside. The first one, you want to press this button here, which means you're going to open the closed box, so the outline. So there's going to be a space. And then the rest of them you can take away after that. Hold shift and press all the other buttons, and click on minus up here, which is delete the point, and then we're going to click off so the rest is remaining. Need to put it in here to the side. Now I'm just going to have a quick look and make sure I'm doing this right. So we've taken the outside cut line so it doesn't cut out of the main circle. That's the point of that. And we want it to the side so that we can fit some stars around like this. If you don't like that, don't do that. You could also cut the middle out so you don't get a middle hole. I've done this, I'm still not sure about it, but I've done it separate so that I can add it if I want to. So the stars I just got from the shapes as well. I used this one and this one. I made them different sizes a little bit, so they obviously need to be a lot smaller, and I pushed them in a little bit because I think they're too square looking to look like stars. So I've just squashed them in a little bit, and then all it is randomly placing them. So I've just put just muck around until you're happy with it. There we go. So that is literally the basic shape. Now if you just get all that and do, actually what I'm going to do, if you hold shift, I'm not sure whether that will work with that, but that's all subtracted. And then maybe if I now do that and see if it will work. No, didn't think so. Let's see what I've done. So this is at the front. I forgot to tell you to send to the back because we just worked on it. It's at the front. So then we'll subtract, and now we know it's all one piece. And then what we'll do, if I colour fill it so you can see what I'm talking about, and there we go. You see my lines are a bit thicker there, so it's up to you if you want to do thinner lines. I probably would, to be honest. I think I prefer this one. So this one, it wasn't that much different. It was only a 20, as that's a 24. Maybe I've done the circle a little bit bigger. But that's the idea anyway. So that's the main part of the Dreamcatcher. To do the clouds, it's very simple. Most of this stuff is literally breaking down into shapes that you can use, or part shapes that you can use. So we've got all these. Let me just get this out of the way. I'm going to make them a bit smaller. So we want a few of each. So layer, duplicate, and I can do it one more time with these ones. Then with this one I want about 4. So all you're going to do is literally a few circles together. Okay, and then all we're going to do is grab all the shapes. So all I've done is fiddled around and whirled, and there you go. If you get bits like this, you can either divide, which it might not do once you've welded, or look, spare circle, grab them both and weld again. There we go. So that's the Dreamcatcher, and there's the clouds. I'm sure you've all got feathers. I've got a couple here that I'm going to use, the ones I like. I've got loads, but I think I'll use these ones as Dreamcatcher feathers. Now to do the strings, you can either, when we're at the craft table, get some string or ribbon, or to make one, you see the freehand path tool. You just draw a wiggly line. Okay, that is all you do. Go back onto square, go to the offset, just to 4 outward and delete, because you don't want the original line, because a single line can't cut. Okay, and you have a nice thin line as a piece of string that you can hang from your Dreamcatcher. Now I've put 3 little holes in for the string. Depends how many holes you want to do. Some do 5. I quite like 3. And obviously to do that I've used a circle, but I've gone down quite a lot in size. And then I've gone close in because the hole has to be quite small, so it's better to go close in. And we want to duplicate and duplicate. And think about where you want to place your feathers. So first of all, I want to make sure them two are equal so that it looks right. So that's this button through the middle. That's better. Yeah. So that's spot on. Now if we choose this one as well, and we can use distribute and make sure that they're even as well, just so that it looks evenly placed. So we've got our 3 holes. Now what we've got to do is do them as well. So make sure you grab the 3 holes and the circle and subtract, and there you go. So that's your holes for hanging. So you can do your strings like that. So they're hanging, and then we're going to attach feathers and beads and things on. I'll probably do 2 or 3 feathers per line. The moon I done, obviously you can see I've attached a couple of stars, and to do a moon you just need 2 circles. I'm sure I've shown you this before, but I don't want to leave you without knowing. And you just put one over the other. See what's in front. No, that one's in front. That was lucky. So the one in front is what's going to subtract. So we need to swap them over. And then you pick them both and subtract, and there's your moon. And then you just add the stars on and weld them, if you want to do that. The other thing is, with the words, I want them, I'm going to stamp them and have a bit of fun with stamping. If you want to do it on here, you just text. So I want dream happy. Everyone puts dream big. I like dream happy. So if you want to do that, your font's up here. You can choose any font you like, and you can draw it instead of cut it if you change here. Sometimes the fonts take ages to come up. They certainly do with me because I've got a lot. So you just choose the font that you think will go with that. Personal taste, I guess. I'm just gonna blindly choose one so that I can show you. Okay, that's not a great one to show you with, but anyway, I'll just show you quickly. The bit I wanted to make clear is that You can do a matte straight away, we don't want to delete, we want to leave it as is, and you should normally do a 0.08 to start with. You might even want more than that. I like it quite close cut. It's saying, okay, if we weld the font, that should help. This happens sometimes. There we go. So now we've got a nice edge all around. That's quite close, which I love. And then you can do another one just by offset, leave everything as it is, and it will do another one round for you. So that's how you do the edges. I'm just going to delete them because like I said, I'm going to stamp it and play around with that. The card. So I literally used a circle, used a lot of circles and a square, and what I want is an 8x8 card. So I'm going to start off doing the square 8x8, well 7 3/4. The 8x8 is the size of the envelope and not the size of the actual card. Okay, so if I've done this at 5, this one, if I do it at 5.5, let's see how we get on with that. So we want it in the middle of the card, and we want it so that both card and circle doesn't go higher than 8. So as you can see, we've got a lot to get off. I want that in about the middle, so I've chose the middle things to put so I know it's on the middle line there, and then if I click on both and do it going down the middle, then I know it's in the center as well. Let's get these bits out of the way, because let's see. So they now size at 880, so I've still got to go down a little bit. If I've worked it out right, I think it was down to about 5. Okay, so now we've got both of them. There we go, it's almost, I'm happy with that. So that's weld. And that would go in the middle there. You'd hang your bits here, and then we're going to decorate the card behind. Obviously you need 2 of them. And then you need a strip to join them, which we are going to use that. It's just a rectangle, and 3/4 of an inch will do. And the card is 5, yes? So you can either attach it to one of the cards, or you can stick the cards together by using that as a joint, which is sometimes better to do. So path tool, you go from the top, shift down to the bottom, double click, and we want the dotted line. And then I am going to grab both and make sure that it is centered in the right place, and then group it, layer, group. So now we've got all our bits. we are ready to cut out, and I think I've shown you everything. Yes, so we're ready to cut out, and I'll see you over at the craft desk. Okay, so I'm over at the craft desk, cut all my bits out, just getting everything ready. So I also cut out an extra bit of card for the back. It's up to you if you use the scan and cut for that. I didn't feel necessarily the need. So all I've got to do is get my glue, and the piece that we had to put it together. So we'll just stick the glue on and put this together. Okay, this is entirely up to you if you want to put it right up to the edge like I'm going to, or do it a little bit in so that you have a little bit of an extra edge. I'm just lining it up, corner to fold, or edge to fold should I say. And then we'll do the other bit. That's not it. Now it's up to you. I've just done the straight bit at the back. You can do another one with the circle if you wish. There we go. Just let it hold, and there is your base card. So we're going to put that to the side because this is going to be the topping paper. So I've come down a 1/4 inch all the way round. So I've just knocked that out of... How did I do that? See, while I was talking I knocked it so that it wasn't even. Yeah, so it depends what size you do on your card. On mine this is 7 3/4 by 5, the square bit. So for the paper where I want to do some colour, I done it as 7 1/2 by 4 3/4, so that there's a 1/4 inch all the way round. Now I'm going to use inks. The reason I have so many dried glues is because I keep forgetting to put the cap back on. So as a tip, try not to do that. So I want to do some stormy sky. Where's my scissors? Do any of you have scissors that keep walking off? Right, so there are many ways to put ink onto paper. So there's sponges, cheap washing sponges. They're perfect for me, they're ideal. There's brushes, so these are cheap paint brushes from Home Bargains, but if I show you, they give off a really nice smooth finish. If you just bring it onto the page, but it's much more subtle than using a sponge. In fact, you can hardly see it. It's there, but I don't know if you can pick it up. And then there's the little egg thingies. Actually, these are not the official egg ones. These are makeup sponges, but still they work the same way. And you've got the ones on the end of a block that you can use as well, that are meant to be the official ones. So let's just ink up the paper. if I can give you a tip, if you're having trouble where when you come on the paper, let me just get a scrap, you're getting a block of colour as you start, like that, it's because you've come straight onto the paper. Or what you need to do is come on it gradually like this, and not straight on like that, because that will give you a block of colour. Okay, this ink is called Stormy Sky. Believe it or not, it's the lighter of the colours I'm using, because then I'm going to go for Faded Jeans, so it's a bit darker around the edge. There, so as you can see, it's now a bit darker around the edges. But still, I'm going to use a bit of black around the very edge. Now, I don't want to go much into this. There we go. So that was the look I was kind of going for. I'm just going to mix in a bit more Stormy Sky where it meets the dark blue. Kind of blend it in a bit better. There we go. I'm happy with that, to tell you the truth. So now I've got this, what I want to do with this is to do some embossing powders, heat embossing, and do some stars. I still don't know whether to do white or silver. That was lucky. I nearly made another fatal mistake. Look, I got it out and then I didn't put it down. So this will stop any other nasty marks that shouldn't be on it. So you get just the stamping. I think I'm going to go with white. We'll see if I make a mistake. I guess there's always gold as well, but okay, like my usual trick, I'm going to do some on the page and some off the page. So this first one can go like that. Okay. There we go. I think that's good enough. So there we have it, a starry background, which is what I was looking for. So I'm going to just stick that on now. Where did I put my glue? Okay, so then this next stage is to affix the main Dreamcatcher. So this I want flat. Oh. And then this one I'm just going to put some tiny 3D pads because I want it to stand up a little bit, so it's got a little bit of a shadow. You don't need loads of these. Apologies for the noise, grass is being cut. One there and one on the other side like that. There. Okay, so we're just gonna, yeah, that was lucky. So I've got my 3 holes here to hang stuff with. So I need to make sure okay, now what I will say, the little things I've done so that we could do paper strands, they're all right, but I don't like them. So I'm actually going to use either invisible thread or some sort of cotton and attach. Again, with the feathers, they didn't come out great. These ones are all right, but the other pretty ones I've done were not as good. So we're just going to use some of these, and then you can add some other stuff as well. Actually, before we do that, I just want to show you the that's the cloud, and I want to use this stamp. Now I don't know if you can see, but there's a lot of little bits there that I don't actually want to have to use. So I've covered it in paper while I ink it up, and I'm going to use the dark blue to stamp with, and what will happen is it will stamp on the paper as well. Just make sure I've got everywhere. So, and then before you actually do the stamp, remember to take it off, otherwise you get the ink on the paper onto your stamp. Now actually I think this was meant to go that way round. Let's have a look. Maybe that way round. What do you think? Can't make my mind up now. I kind of like that, yeah. So I want Dream in the big letters. And then I've got another stamp. These are just stamps I got from Wish. But, you know, I was hoping that Happy would fit. Now, the thing about Happy is that it's got flowers in the actual letters. You can see it there. And I don't know, I don't think I'm going to be able to block them. No, I can't. So I'm just going to have to deal with that. But what I'm worried about is whether or not it's going to fit. Dream. Ooh. Well, I can do it so that the flower is there, so that's not a worry. Okay, let's just see if we can there we go. So I'm going to use the same tape. So although I'm not sticking it down there, I know that the paper is only going to go downwards. So I'll be all right. Remember to take the paper off from where you've covered. Okay, so I know I can go about there. There we go. That's not bad actually. So there we go, Dream Happy. Now for that, what I'm going to do, I don't really want black around this, but I think that a tiny little bit of grey edging will do it good. So let's just try. Yeah, I think just all I'm going to do actually is just flick it on like this, just so that it's got a bit of an edging round it, and you don't want it to be, this is meant to be smoky grey. You don't want it to be too much, that's all. But with all my clouds, I like to go round in a bit of grey. Okay, I think that'll do. So this I want to stick here. Now, do we want it up on pads or not? I think it would look better on pads personally. I'm going to get me big ones. I'm lazy, so I'm using the big ones. That'll do. And then I've done the sun. I've done the moon. And I originally was going to do it to cover that, to go over the hole in the middle, but when I decided on doing the cloud up there, I thought it might look good just coming down here. like this. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to use pads again. What's wrong with you? I think I want it tilted to the side a bit. I think that would look better. Yeah. Okay. So that's what we've got so far. And now all we have to do is the hanging pieces. So I'm just going to get my bits together so I can show you, and we'll get onto that piece. Okay guys, so I went ahead and got most of this ready just so that I could show you. I've kept the one bit to show you basically what I've done, and then get the tweezers, and then we'll put it together. So I had some wire, and it happened to be dark blue, so I've used that quickly. And I don't have jewellery tools because I've not really got much into jewellery, but the wire is easy enough to manipulate anyway. So what I've done, I've just gone through my bead selection and picked a couple of beads just to put on each one, and then I want the string, or wire, sorry. See that I'm still doing it with my fingers anyway. Going through there. And then the feathers, I've stuck 3 together, and I've inked up 2 on either side with a white one in the middle. And what I want to do on one of them, so this one I want near the bottom, and I've actually got a loop in there. I don't know if you can. And I'm just going to put it round so it looks like it's on the end. And then I'm going to get a pad. Actually, I think what I'll do is cut one of these big ones in half. And what I want to do, once it's through there and holding on like that, I want to stick the wire with the feathers, like that. Okay, so that's the first set, and then you can manipulate where you want it to go. And then the second set, I was going to see if I could make it look like it was attached there, but maybe they should all be on the end actually. So what I'm going to do, again, make it look like it's gone through the middle. As you can see, most of it is just manipulation of the wire. And then the last one I haven't actually put on yet, so let's fix that on. And then I want them coming up like this. So I glue them together. As you can see, it is a bit fiddly, but I think by the end of it, it's worth it. Now, I'm sure you've all got plenty of brilliant ideas to what to do with this, but there is my take. So there we go. Dreamcatcher card, and it just says Dream Happy. You can put whatever you like, obviously. I was getting a bit bored of the Dream Big and all that kind of thing, so I decided to put Dream Happy, because I think we all need a happy dream right now. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you again next week. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.